Do we experience the reality as it is, or we just experience a version of reality inside of our brain, which is total stimulation of our brain, artificially created, and a mental image of the reality and not the raw world itself? Well, let's begin with our visionary experiences. Well, if we talk about our vision, when the light reflects of an object and hit our photoreceptor cells inside of our eyes, which is called as rod and cone cells. The photoreceptor cells turns this light into an electrical signals, and then it's transferred through the optical nerve and reaches to the thalamus part of our brain. And from the thalamus part of our brain, it reaches to our visual cortex, and there different regions shapes the color, shape, and the motion of that thing. So then only then we can see that object, and it is just a mental image of that. We don't see by our eyes, we see by our visual cortex, which made this mental image by its guess. Well, if we talk about our auditory experiences, so from our outside world and from our external worlds, the like sounds come from the magnetic wave and it hits our into our ear, and there is a receptor called cochlea. When it hits the cochlea, then it also turns this signal, magnetic signals, into electrical signals, and it transferred through the optical nerve to the thalamus, and from the thalamus to the auditory cortex of our brain, and by the stimulation of that part, we hear the sound. And if we begin to other experiences like whatever we smell, so here in our nose, there is an olfactory receptor cells. So when we smell something, that chemical molecules hit that olfactory receptor cells, and it directly bypasses through the thalamus, and from the thalamus it transferred to the olfactory bulb, and there it transferred to the olfactory cortex, and there we can, by the stimulation of the olfactory cortex, we can smell that thing. And another experience is whatever we touch or feel on our skin, there is mechanoreceptor cells here into our body. Whatever we touch, heat, pain, or pressure, our mechanoreceptor cells accept that signal. From the mechanoreceptor cells, the electrical signal is transferred through the peripheral nerve to the somatosensory cortex of our head, our brain, which is situated in the parietal lobe. And there it stimulates that signal and detects what part of our body experiences what kind of feelings. So whatever we experiences, that's not the reality. It is just a neuronal activity inside of our brain. So it is a rich, unified model of the guesswork, into our brain, which is related with the association of the different cortex of our brain. So whatever we experience, that is neuronal activity and really perfect guesswork of our brain. It's not exactly the raw world, but we experience the internal copy of the reality inside of our brain, which is created by our own brain. But we just cannot experience the reality as it is.